Hello, American history students. Today we are going to compare and contrast knights and samurai. Okay, so the past few lessons you have been looking at the feudal system. It's funny because Japan and Europe had zero contact with each other, and yet their systems, the way their society was organized, was very similar with this what's called the feudal system, right? Like a hierarchy, like you learned in last week's lesson. And so what you're learning more about are the warriors in both societies, the samurais and the knights. And you're now going to take what you learned in the past two checkpoints and you're going to compare and contrast them. So that's what you're doing in your summit checkpoint. And I thought I would just help give you a little more information on that with my weekly lesson. So as always, in the Explore section, I have an article for you to read. And as you're reading, I want you to take notes on how they were similar and different. And you will record this in a Venn diagram or a chart. And then for the watch, go back and review the videos on the Knights and the Samurai in my previous lessons. So you can go back. You can even do a Google search of your own if there's other videos you want to watch. But, I already had included some in previous lessons. Then for the do, I want you to create a Venn diagram or a 3-column chart that includes the similarities and differences between knights and Japanese samurai. Right? Include information on things like training, weapons, and armor, and most importantly, it's the code of conduct. That's what this whole checkpoint is focusing on, is that whole idea of the honor code, okay? The code that they live by, that code of Bushido and the code of chivalry. All right, and then you're just going to go through the lesson. How were the samurai knights similar and different? Take a quiz, and then you're going to use the information you gained from this lesson particular this whole explore section. You're going to use that knowledge to help you complete your checkpoint, which is the purpose of social codes. So let's go and look at that. So this is where we are at right now. All right, we're on our second project, and for those of you who haven't done it, the Silk Road and Globalization was due October 25th, so you're now about a month behind. Now, there's just a few of you, but you really need to get caught up because it's really hard to come back when you get too far behind. So anyways, we did week 1 on the honor codes. We looked at the samurai and the code of Bushido, the expectations of samurai. The feudal system was my lesson, the expectations of knights, and now you're going to be talking about the purpose of social codes. So, folks, this is set up pretty much like all of them. Right? There's usually some documents you need to read. So you're going to read through these. Usually they're primary source documents. A lot of them are from the actual time period, okay? And you're going to look at what purpose do social codes, such as Bushido and chivalry, serve in medieval feudal systems. So what was the point of these social codes for these warriors? Why did they even have them? Why did they exist? Okay, remember, Bushido is the code of honor and morals developed by the Japanese samurai, and chivalry, the medieval knightly system with its religious, moral, and social code. Okay, so as you go through, you're looking for supporting evidence because this is what's going to help you with your writing assignment that you'll have to do. So you want to highlight evidence about the purpose of Bushido social codes, highlight evidence about the purpose of chivalry social codes, then highlight evidence that supports the purposes of both of those codes. So look, this one's about the purposes of the chivalric ideology, so chivalry. Resource 2 is about both of them, a comparison. That's going to be a really good one. 3 is about the death and purpose of Bushido, and 4 is, again, that one's going to be on Bushido. Okay, so you're going to take all that, highlight specific information that will help you to answer this question. What purpose do social codes, such as Bushido and chivalry, serve in medieval feudal systems? And this is what you're going to be answering right here. So a couple sentences to a paragraph, I would say a paragraph, in this box is where you're going to answer it, and that's this week's checkpoint. So you're simply comparing, all right, and contrasting these two codes that you spent so much time learning about. And you're going to take, when I say use evidence, All right, you're pulling some quotes out that you find that help support your ideas. Okay, so take some quotes out and then you have to cite them. So you have to put, you can even say too, from document A, that will be fine. So if you want to do that, or, well, in this case, it doesn't say doc A, doc B, so you could put resource 1 in parentheses after you do a quote. Or if you even paraphrase, which means say you like something in here and you want to use it as evidence, say you just put it in your own words a little bit, you change a few things, you still have to cite it because it came from a source. It wasn't your original idea. And then I forgot to tell you about the graphic organizer. There's always a graphic organizer to help you. It goes along with the documents. So you could also do this as well. This just breaks it down a little more for your note taking. Right, with your so for resource 1, what's the purpose of Bushido? Resource 2, resource 3, etc. And then purpose of chivalry for these. And then what's the shared purposes? So this, again, this is kind of on either side the differences, and in here, the similarities. So all of that is just to help you, again, to complete this writing assignment. So I hope my weekly lesson will help you as well. And just remember, when you're doing these paragraphs, you have to include evidence. That's so important because anyone could just kind of give a vague or general statement, but you need something to support your claim, okay, to make it a little more valid. All right, if you have any questions, as always, send me a hangout, send me an email. I could always help you out. We could Zoom, whatever, but let's get this work done. Stay on track. You don't want to have to work over the holidays to get caught up. You have a wonderful week.